Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. My name is Yaqut Zaman. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. If you guys are not familiar with my YouTube channel, please check out the videos that I make. And this series, which we are going through at the moment, is Sarf. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Sarf, Sarf is all of this stuff. Right? This is all kind of verbs. It's like maths of the verbs, basically. It's verb maths. Yeah, algebra. Verb maths. So you're just kind of like dealing with verbs, how you change them, you conjugate them for he and for she and for they. It's a bit of a headache sometimes, but it's nice. Yeah, nice because it kind of all makes sense. Right, so last week, if you remember, we covered Naqis and we covered the past verbs. And this is the kind of overall map that we've made that we want to cover. So today, hopefully, we are going to be covering all the other past verbs. Right, so past verbs are pretty much easy, you can say. Right, they are not difficult at all. If we kind of try to analyze it in this way, let me know if this method is quite easy to understand. Now, what I'm going to start to do now is, I'm just thinking to myself, you know what, shall I kind of just skip out all these long sort of tables and try to make it a bit more easier for you guys? I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself how to make it more easier. Right, so we are continuing with Naqis, right? This time, what we want to look at is, so if you have the 14 verbs as you guys are familiar with, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. So, let me just make these. Fa'ala, fa'ala, and all the way down, right? Actually, you know what I'll just do? I'm just thinking to myself, should I just make it easy for myself and just do this business? Yeah, bit of an easy job there. Yeah, so just put that there. Right, look at that. Job's done. Right. Okay, so now when it comes to these verbs, we want to talk about the wow and we want to talk about ya, remember. So the one that we're going to talk about, the wow one we're going to be talking about today is radiya. Now radiya originally is ra-di-wa. Yeah, radiwa. However, change has taken place in this word, and basically it becomes radiya. Right? And the reason it becomes radiya is because of the ending of this. Right, the ending of this basically can't end in a wow. You can't have a wow at the end, if you remember. Right, so in the verb, if you have a wow and it has a kasra before it, you have to change this. You have to change this because you got this kasra. You got to change this into a ya. Right, so it's going to actually become ra di ya. Yeah, so ra di ya. Yeah, nib's gone a bit thick, so you can probably change it. So ra di ya, right, and this is because you have this rule over here. Okay, so now if you remember, we had a list of some of the rules from before. Wow with the sukoon, kasra and kasra before it changed to ya. So something very similar to this is going to apply over here. Right, so radiwa actually becomes radiya. Right, so this is the first one. The second over here, radiya. And then all of this, obviously, this is going to apply to, literally, it's going to apply to all the words. Right, so radiya, radiyu, right? So you're going to have, basically, if we skip out all this, it's going to become radiya. Now this one over here, this third one over here, this is actually going to become ra. So remember, this is all the same. Right, so this is ra di. Now because you got this ya over here, ra di ya, you're supposed to get this ya is supposed to be a dhamma. Ra di you. Yeah, radiyu. Now you can't have radiyu. Radiyu doesn't exist. The reason why radiyu doesn't exist is because you have this ya over here, so this ya. So what's going to happen now is we're going to remove the vowel from this. This is going to remove. If you have a kasra, So again, this is another rule over here. If you have a vowel before, if you have a kasra before the ya, right, you got to get rid of it. So you're left with a sukun, put sukun on there. Yeah, so rad you, then you have to, so number one is remove vowel from middle letter. Yeah, remove vowel from ain kalima. And then number two is transfer vowel. Yeah, so this vowel over here, you can transfer it to there. So now it's basically going to become ra du. Radu. So radi, it started off with radiwa, then it became radiya, and then it became rad you, and then rad you, the dhamma is shifted onto the dad. And now because you got a sakin over here, so that's the third, remove a sakin letter. Yeah, so you remove sakin letter, so that ya is dropped off, and you're left with ra du. Okay, so this one, this third one over here, fa'alu, this is where a lot of the ta'leel takes place. Probably the longest ta'leel that takes place. Now all the rest of them is all the same, right? All the rest are going to be exactly the same. Radiyat, radiyata, radina, radita, radituma, raditum, raditi, all the same. Yeah, but it's just this one is really the main sort of like one that you need to remember, right? So this rule also applies to the ya. Yeah, so khashiya basically. So obviously khashiya. Now we don't need to change anything here because it's already a ya, so we don't need to shift the waw into a ya. And so this is still stays the same, khashiya. Second one, khashiya, but then this third one is going to change. So khashiya in here is going to become khashiyu. Yeah, and then we're going to do the whole thing that we did over here. Remove the vowel on the ain kalima. So remove this, that goes. So you put sukun on there. Khash you. Shift the dhamma onto the previous one, so it becomes khashuyu, and then remove the ya. 3 steps, and you're left with khashu. Yeah, like someone sleeping. Khashu. Right, you got khashu. So everyone understand this? So this is basically the rule that you have to remember for this. Right, so you got this rule over here, which is just 1 step. Change to ya, and then you've just got that rule over there. All right, so that's basically what you need to understand for this. And like I said, all the rest are the same. That's why I don't want to touch it. Now, the rule for, I'm thinking to myself, shall I do this? Shall I write this? Shall I not write this? How shall I do this? Just to make it easy for everyone here. The rule for sa'a is exactly the same as rama. Yeah, sa'a. Yeah, it's going to be sa'a, sa'aya, sa'u. Right, so you got the main change that's going to take place. Originally sa'aya became sa'a because you got the alif issue here over here. Like you remember over here. Yeah. So originally it was jathawa. Yeah. But sa'aya is just a ya. So originally it was sa'aya, like rama, and then this ya became alif. And then it became, like this, exactly the same. Let me show you guys. Yeah. So like rama, sa'a, sa'aya, sa'ayu, and then sa'au, sa'ayat, and then sa'at, sa'ayata, and then sa'ata, and then sa'ina, sa'ita, all the rest are the same. So this is exactly the same way for sa'a. Rakhuwa, right? Rakhuwa is going to be exactly the same as radiya. Yeah. In fact, this waw is not even going to change. It's not going to change like jathawa, because the reason why it changed in jathawa was because there was a fatha before it. This has got dhamma before it, so it doesn't change. So this one is going to be like jathawa, So it's going to be rahuwa, and then rahuwa, and then this is the only one that's going to be affected. Rahu. Yeah, so rahu is going to be like radu. Yeah. So that's all you have to understand. The rahuwa, it's only rahu that's affected by this. And all the rest of them, rahuwat, rahuwata, rahuna, rahuta, rahutma, rahuti, etc. All the way down to the end. Right? So that's basically all you have to understand for this. Now, if you don't understand this and you're saying to me, please, can you write it out for me? I will rewrite this again for you guys, right? I will write this out for you guys. If you guys are really saying to me, please, we still don't understand. What I'll do is I'll try to summarize for you all the rules so that you can understand. For now, all you have to remember is the rule for this, jatha, da'a, yeah, rama, kana, sa'a, are basically the same, right? These are the rules over here, right? So you got this, the alif one there, you got the, that doesn't apply to the second dual, and then you got this one, jatho, and then jathat and jathata, right? So these are the main ones that change in this. In the rama, the only ones that really change are the same as this, except for dual. Yeah. Actually, yeah, dual doesn't even change here as well. You're right, it doesn't change there. And in Radiya, like we've done over here, it's just the first one that changes and the third one that changes. And in the Ya one, it's just the third one that changes. Yeah, so that's all you have to remember. And Rahuwa, it's only the third one that changes. So actually, if I kind of just like write this down over here, if I let me see if I can write this down over here. So if I write down maybe over here, if I say how shall I write this down, just so that you guys can get a good understanding of what's happening over here. So so let's say there's 1 and 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So 3 rules apply here. So just put in red 3 rules. So 3 rules apply there. Jatha and da'a, 3 rules apply there as well. Right? Radiya, today we did Radiya. So it's really only 2 rules apply to Radiya. Yes, 2 rules apply to Radiya. So 3, what was Rama? Rama was 1, 2, basically 3 rules as well. Kana, 3 rules there as well. And Khashiya and Radiya, you have the Radiya one, 1, 2, okay, and Khashiya, it's really only 1 rule for Khashiya, yeah. And then Sa'a is basically like Jatha, but you don't have the, so it's like Rama rather, 3. And then Rakhwa, it's only 1 rule. That's it basically. So that's basically the rules that will apply to these. That's all it is. And what I'll try to do is, I'll try to write these rules down in here as well, just so that you guys can get like an understanding. So like Naqis rules over here. So you've got so this is like number 4 rule. This is, let's call this number 5 rule. Let's call it number 6 rule. So number 6 rule would be change waw into ya if fatha before it. Yeah, so like jathawa fatha. You got that. Except times 2. So except times 2 means that in the dual one you don't apply that rule. And in the third one, yeah, in the third one over here, you got the same rule that applies there, but you also got the ijtima sakinain, 2 sakins rule. So yeah, so I don't have to write down over here. You got 2 sakins rule over this, rule number 1. And over here, you got alif before the ta feminine rule. Yeah, so alif before ta times 2 fem. Yeah, that one over there. So that basically has done these rules, right? And then you just got the Radiya rule. So the Radiya one is again, change waw into if it fatha or kasra. Let's put kasra there as well. Yeah. So that changes there. You've also got remove the ayn, right? This is the plural one where we said if the ya appears, if the ya appears before waw, so let's put this over here, number 8. Let's call this give sukoon to the ayn kalima, sukoon to the ayn kalima, meaning remove the vowel on the ayn kalima. So you remove the vowel on the ayn kalima, and over here, this one is you transfer before. What's before? So you transfer that over there, and then you got the ijtima sakinain. That's it. So the same thing applies over there. So I think if you understand these main rules I've written down over here, you basically got yourself the Naqis sorted. Naqis literally, you can say, sorted from that. Now, obviously, this is not like really refined. Once you've grasped this, then what I would say is that you can basically like open a textbook. Like for example, this is a good book I would recommend, and this is a good book I recommend. And inshallah, if I finish all of Sarf, I'm actually go through this book. This is by Dr. Muhammad Fadil Samurai. Very nice book of Sarf. It kind of like summarizes the rule, but if you're not familiar with Sarf, reading this can be a bit tough. I'll admit that. Okay, so that's basically done for that. Now the next ones that we have left are the mazids. So mazids basically are these ones, a'ta, yu'ti. Now all I'm going to say to you is this: they basically follow the same rules that we've done here. If you have grasped the rules of jatha yajtu, and you have grasped the rules of da'a, and you grasped the rules of radiya and khashiya and rakhwa, you basically have got this. A'ta can be put in the same list. A'ta, a'ta, the waw has been changed. A'taya, a'taw, the dhamma, etc. A'tat, a'tata, a'tayna, a'tayta, a'taytuma. Right? So again, you got that sorted there. Istafa exactly the same way. Istafa, right? The waw has been shifted, changed, and then you got istafa, istafaya, istafaw, istafat, istafata, istafayna, istafayta, istafaytuma. Samma. All of these basically work on the same principle. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to go through these, like make a list, or you're saying to me, you know what, it's sufficient. If you want me to make a list for you, write a list for you, and I can show you, then that's fine. But personally, I think you guys have grasped this. Once you grasp this, this is pretty much easy. The only little rule that I would say, which you are going to sort of like see, is, when it comes to, so it's just istirkha, right? So it's basically when you do istirkha, istarkhaya, istarkhaw, istarkhat, istarkhata, istarkhayna, istarkhayta, istarkhaytuma, istarkhaytum. Pretty much it's the same really. Only difference is you're going to use a ya there, you're not going to use the waw. So in all of these, you're going to use the ya and you're not going to bring back the waw. Whereas in all of these, you actually bring back jatha and da'a, you're going to bring back the waw. Okay, right, so that's basically done then. Alright, so let's try to have a look at something in the Quran. Maybe we can like find something. So for instance, like okay, atayna. So atayna, right? So you can see atay, ata, right? So you got the atayna. So you got this, but as you can see, this would be like, for example, like aghna. Although this has got a hamza at the beginning, but it works on the same principle, right? So atayna, sa'ayna, and so forth. Okay, let's look at maybe Awfu. So Awfa, Yufi, Ifa, and this is basically where you have two Naqis or two harf illas inside one word. Yeah. Iftara. Yeah, iftarahu. So this iftarahu, let me get a piece of paper. Let me just write this down just to show you guys. So for instance, if you have let's give it to my pen. Iftara. It's originally iftara, yeah? Iftara. Yeah, it's from the firya. So iftara, as you can see, this would come under the pattern of farya, iftara, ijtaba. So iftara, yeah, iftara, yeah, it would have been iftara, yeah, it would have been originally, and then that would, because there's the ya at the end, that's going to be switched into an alif, so it becomes iftara. Okay, and then iftara, yeah, iftaro. The third one will be iftara. It would have been iftarayu. But as you guys know, the rule basically was that if you have this ya over here, and it follows like the radiya pattern, like when we said about the radiya over here, then what we do over here is we're gonna use basically no, we're not going to use the radiya pattern, we're going to use the jatha pattern. Yeah, so jatha, right, jatha over here, so it's going to become, this ya is going to become an alif, so it's going to become basically iftara, this ya is going to be changed to an alif, and then because there's two sakins, you get rid of that, so you're left with iftaro. Okay, so you got that ya shifted, changed into an alif, and then when it changes into an alif, you are going to remove that basically. So iftaro, you got iftaro there. So that's another example of this taking place. Okay, so again, you have a lot of examples are there, but it's just a matter of trying to carefully go through the verses to try and istawa. Another one, istawa. Okay, so istawa, you got istawa. So sawa, yeah, istawa. Same thing as iftara. Yeah, same sort of change has taken place. Istawa. Yeah, so sawaya, if it comes from the ya, that was originally a ya, then that's changed to an alif, and if it's from sawa wow, then the same sort of concept, same principle over there. It basically kind of either istafa or ijtaba. Okay, actually, the istafa one, I think maybe next time I'll actually do that, because istafa originally was istafa, or rather sad fa wow. Yeah, and it's changed to that, and then this is basically changed into a ta for pronunciation purposes. Makes it easy to sound. Istafa. Yeah, so the ta is changed into a ta. Okay, so I think maybe next time I might just touch on this one just to kind of make it a bit more clear for you guys. Okay, let's look at Radu. So you remember the one that we talked about? Radiya, right? Radu, right? There's Radu. Now, if you hadn't seen that, if you just see that and you're looking up in dictionary, you look for Ra, Dad, you think, what kind of word is this? It's actually the waw is missing, right? Radu. So you know what it was originally. Radiyu, and then became radiya, and then radu. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it really. So basically, have a go. I would say, don't be afraid. Have a go. Try to work out yourselves, and basically, it's simply just a matter of practice. What I think I should do is, maybe I think I would do some more practice with you guys. So next week, I think what I'll do is I'll just purely lesson just on practice. I'll select maybe like 5 to 10 examples, and then we'll go through them just to work them out, I think, so that all of this can be consolidated. What do you guys think? You like that? Yeah, I think that's the best idea. All right, guys, so Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share it with your contacts, and thank you to all my patrons for supporting my channel. I know it means a lot to me with with all the work that I put into it, and mashallah, all the help and support that you guys show. If any of you guys want to help my channel and help the projects that I make, please check out the description below. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.